Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I am going to be talking about the natal chart of the Michael Brown shooting. As most of you know, this took place on August 9th of this year. According to Wikipedia.org, it was between 12:01 p.m. and 12:04 p.m. I made the chart for 12:03 p.m. It falls kind of somewhat in the middle, I guess you could say, and it took place in Ferguson, Missouri. Now let me get started. The first thing in the chart which stands out in my mind is the fact that Scorpio was rising at this time. Now Scorpio ascendant is the sign that's associated and corresponds with death. As you know, two other planets were in Scorpio too, Mars and Saturn. This shooting may very well have had a transforming effect on many. Perhaps partially the fact that the rising sign was Scorpio and you have two other planets in Scorpio may at least be partially attributed to why some of the details in this case is so shrouded in mystery. The Sun was in Leo, and this is I think this figured prominently in making this very high-profile incident. The story, the fact it's taken center stage and figured so prominently in the news is probably an understatement. And there were also two other planets in Leo. One was a planet, Mercury, and the MC, or midheaven, was in Leo as well, so you can understand why this was so attention-getting. Now, Mars in Scorpio conjuncts the ascendant in this chart. Now, Mars in Scorpio in the sign of death, Mars conjuncting the ascendant can be volatile in nature. Now, death may have been the result of a violent struggle, so we can kind of understand where Mars, the volatility, aggression, meets death in this case. Sad but true, I believe, being in the sign of Scorpio. Now, Saturn in this chart is in the first house, so obviously a very sad event that left many despondent afterwards. The incident obviously is taken on strong seriousness, and matters pertaining to this shooting likely to be handled in very responsible, orthodox, methodical, and slow but steady manner. Now, there's a fixed T-square in this chart, and which is indicative of much fixed energy associated with this matter. So we're going to look at the moon as one planet, and that's the emotions, anger, which is Mars, and the philosophical outlook, outlooks I should say, which is Jupiter. So there's obviously a lot of intransigence, a lot of fixity in connection with these planets in this incident. Now, Moon square Mars is one of the aspects in this fixed T-square, and that could indicate abrupt, acrimonious, emotional type of reactions, and in this. So I think we might have seen something like in this nature in this incident. Now we have a Leo stellium in this chart, and this is at least somewhat, at least partially connected to why this story was so attention-grabbing and received much notoriety and publicity. Now, the fact it's been very publicized and dramatized, it's no shocker considering that you had Leo on the MC, or midheaven, and Mercury and the Sun in the sign of Leo as well, in the 10th house. Now, 8 planets and energies are in fixed signs. Now, this shows a lot of intractability and stubbornness. Many people are sticking to their viewpoints very adamantly, despite many conflicting ones that we've seen in this incident. Now, despite conflicting stories I've stated before, witnesses have been unwavering in their accounts as far as what happened. Now there's 9 planets energies in the violent signs, or at least what I believe they are. 9 of the 12 planets / energies are in Scorpio, Aries, Capricorn, and Leo. And that being said, this indicates that this event had a strong potential to be very acerbic and volatile. More likely than not, there was more harm inflicted that was necessary in this fatality, I should say. Now, this is a little bit paradoxical. The chart rulers in this case, the ruler of the first house, is split because Scorpio is rising and it has co-rulers. It has Mars as one ruler and Pluto as the other ruler of Scorpio. Now, the Pluto is in the 3rd house, the chart ruler being in the 3rd. I'll explain that first, which indicates that much communication about this event was likely to go down, which obviously it has, and people were going to be very loquacious regarding this matter and situation. And the other chart ruler, Mars, is in the 12th house, which indicates that despite a lot of talk over this incident, that we're seeing a lot of things that are not have been, I believe, have been suppressed and have not been revealed and have been kept in secrecy in regards to this death. So this is more. I'm sure there's a lot of behind-the-scenes communication pertaining to this incident. Now, last but not least, I want to get with the ruler of the 1st house in the 3rd, and the ruler of the 3rd is in the 1st. Now, this suggests that this has been immensely talked about, kind of reinforcing what I've stated before, and that many were compelled to talk about this and communicate about this, and we see it in manifold ways, whether it's on the internet, whether we see it on TV and media, whether it's with people that we're acquainted with, our friends. And there's I even had a conversation strongly about this in a supermarket actually yesterday, and it was a very extensive conversation, which probably we talked maybe about this particular subject for approximately an hour or so. It was really, it's affected a lot of people, I believe, as far as communication goes. Well, anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for the Michael Brown shooting natal chart. And stay tuned next time, where I'll be dissertating and talking about a South Node aspect. I'll be continuing my South Node aspects segments. 2 things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel, but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because a person astrologically is the sum of all their components in their natal chart, and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.